Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube segment, what I want to be talking about is going to be something a little bit different than what you're accustomed to seeing in my videos. It's actually a tribute. It's like a eulogy to someone named Ray Summer. He was a fellow classmate of mine at Herrick's High School and Herrick's Middle School. He had passed away. It was many years ago, back in 2009. I'm sorry, first off, that this is an exceptionally belated, eulogy and tribute to him, and little, just I wanted to convey, some things about, Ray and a lot of good things the qualities he had, and we had been friends. He had died. My understanding was, I mean, at least I heard this from one person. I have not confirmed this 100%, that it was of a brain tumor. It was in 2009, and he was, at the time, I believe 30, just 39 years old. It's unbelievable, and I feel blessed. When I hear about things like this, in my heart, I feel very blessed to be around. At the time of this video that I'm making, I'm 52, and I'm going to be 53 soon, and just very happy to be around at this point in time. And and again, I apologize for this being exceptionally belated and 14 years later, but I still wanted to find some time to talk about Ray. And I was friends with Ray Summer, in middle school, in the very early part of high school, and something happened where we became adversarial. The situation with us was contentious, and we were no longer friends, and we never reconciled. It reached a point where the remainder of high school we just really weren't on much speaking terms. Um, and I wish maybe we could have maybe resolved our issues, and I'm sorry that that happened. And I want to say I'm hoping that Ray is somewhere in heaven and he can hear me, and somehow that I mean, I'm sorry for whatever happened on my end toward you. I hope you could forgive me, and I would like to I can forgive you, and for whatever went down, whatever you did that may hurt me at the time. And it's a message in this that we need to always try to do our best to forgive those that persecute us, and not hold any animosity, harbor any grievances or ill will toward others. And it's, in this case, it's important for me to, keep that in mind. Um, and the thing is, that as far as, some good, qualities I can remember about, Ray, he seemed to me like he was very, cerebral and intellectual. He was that kind of person that could go into like those puzzle books, and they didn't have them at the time, I don't think, when we were in school, but like the Sudoku, if I'm pronouncing the right, Sudoku puzzles, and he could probably solve them a lot quicker than most people, or whatever it might be, a crossword puzzle, anagram or cryptogram, whatever it may be, because he was very somebody, I would say, was very bright. um, I would say, again, very, intellectual, cerebral. He got, I don't know what his grades were, but I'm sure he did very well. Scholastically, Ray struck me as somebody that was very studious and studied very hard. Uh, he had it, and there was just something about his look that was very, intellectual, and he was. I felt like that's what he was about as a person, and somebody that wasn't like, was looking like, for fights or anything, um, with others, not like an overly confrontational person, not acerbic. He was a, person that was very, I would say low key is one way to describe Ray, as far as another adjective to use with him. And he was a person that was very, I would say amiable as well, and had a whimsical side to him, though he was very serious for a lot of the time that I did know Ray. And I just, wanted to, pay some, respects in a video, because I feel like, well, I mean, I could just do a little writing, but I don't know if that would be enough. I wanted to actually, do this in a way where, where maybe come out and cross as more personal. And he was somebody that I knew for, a good part of my life. Again, I was friends with him back in Herrick's Middle School, and it was all the way, into the very, that first, the ninth grade, that first year in high school, and then we became enemies at that point. And I look back, it was something that really shouldn't have even gone down. It was, to me, it was a trivial. The thing is, I actually have, there's another person, and I'm not going to, disclose the name of the video, but there was another person that, I had a falling out with that was actually one of my best, friends at the time at Herrick's High School. And he's still, I mean, my understanding, I believe he's still alive now. And this happened about 12 years ago. No, not 12 years, about 11 years ago. It was early 2012, I believe. And to this day, he still, held a grudge against me. He blocked me on Facebook, deleted me, blocked me, and he's still holding a grudge. And I just want to say, as I stated about earlier about forgiving those that persecute us, that we can't, if we're staying mad at somebody, that just eats away the soul. I mean, that's all that's going to do. And I think some people just they have a lot of pride in them, and they're like, basically, well, this person said this to me, well, so I'm just going to stay mad and never talk to them anymore. And I just don't, think for me, that doesn't that just not logical to me. But everybody has their own perception and outlook on things, I guess. And I just wanted to say that, for me, being grudge holding is not, the way to be. And and sadly, during the time though at Herrick's High School, that Ray and I, obviously we held grudges against each other. And I just encourage, people out there who see the few people that see this video to please, if you've got, some kind of adversary, you had some enemy for some time, try, even if you don't have it in you, to actually confront the person head on and say, hey, can you forgive me? At least forgive that other person in your heart, even if you can't like convey it, to them verbally. You can't come out right with it to that person. You just try to do something where you can at least, forgive that other person, because staying angry is just not, the way to be. And I'm just trying to see if there's anything else, I wanted to add about race. As far as Ray Summer goes, is that, again, as I was stating before, he was somebody, that was, very, intellectual, and I'm sure probably analytical as well. He was a person that I could see that was probably, very, like in terms of, being as far as scholastically, being in a class at a certain point in time, very punctual and precise. And he was, a person that generally was one, to conduct himself in the proper manner. And he struck me as somebody that was very proper. And there's something else I wanted to add. I'm going to say this before I forget it. Is that he was in? I saw something where somebody made a post that basically stated that Ray Summer had passed away, and he was in something called Brighton Beach Memoirs or something similar to that. And I may not be saying the name right, and I guess that was probably one of the newer, more recent versions of it. I mean, Ray again passed away in 2009, but it might have, I don't know, which version of that show he, the movie or play or whatever it may have been he was on, but he was in one of them. And hey, kudos to him for doing that. I wish I could have done something like in a play or, in acting or something, and I never did. And the thing is, and I just wanted, to say and look in, the positive aspects of Ray Summer again. What I wanted to add with him as well is that he might have not been, the kind of person, to get into like, as far as the physical confrontation with somebody and get into fights. But I will say, in his terms, that wasn't really about him, because he was somebody that was pretty much, to himself and very studious, and somebody that really was more, focused on, the as far as the studying than it was, to get into it and do, cause, some instigate some situation for someone else. Say that was good about Ray Summer as well. But I would want to add, before I forget, about Ray Summer as well, is that, I will say he was one of the few people during that time in the Herrick's middle school time, especially, that gave, that was willing to, give me a chance as a friend, and I do appreciate it. And I know, a lot of people had shied away from me, maybe because I was a little shy and introverted, and didn't really give me much of a chance as a friend, and I wasn't exactly, again, Mr. Gregarious or extroverted or overly engaging. And I'm still a little bit introverted. I'm a little bit more outgoing now than what people had known me back in the Herrick's, middle school and high school days. But, I can understand at that time where it wasn't going to be a situation where I was going to become, Mr. Popularity or what have you. That was just not meant to be for me. Some of it had to do with my demeanor, and some of it had to do with the fact I really believe that I wasn't given, I'll say it right now, I don't believe in my heart that I was given a fair opportunity by some people, but that's another story for another time maybe. And that's really, what I wanted to get at. And again, to thank Ray for, if you can hear me now, Ray, thank you for, at least, even though it was in the middle school and we had basically parted ways as friends in high school, that you did give me, you were one of the few people that actually gave me a chance at friendship, and that's something I will not forget. That will be an indelible fixture in my mind for some time, and I just wanted to come out and talk about this. And Ray, and I'm going to close with this. Rest in peace, and I hope pray you're in a better place right now. And it's terrible to hear people passing so early in life. Again, I do feel blessed that, being at my age, early 50s, that I'm still, I'm alive. I got, my functionalities, basic functions I still have, and I'm relatively healthy. Right now I have some, physical issues. I have irrevocable nerve damage to my arms. I have protruding or bulging disc in my lower back, which isn't fun, but, well, anyway, but, I'm still here, I'm alive, and, the way I look at it, if I'm subsisting and surviving, I'm flourishing and thriving. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.